want to bring my concerns to the board, regarding the efficiency of the transfer station while they're short-staffed. I met with the employees just over 2 weeks ago, and we discussed at length on how we can run things more efficiently. One of them, brought up the subject of trash, pickup, and it was decided and agreed that we would try to, pick up the trash once a week and see how things go. I checked with the school, spoke to the janitor Lee Simmons, he said he was okay with it and would work with the town's schedule. He also said that during the summer when the school is closed, there is a lot less trash, so it shouldn't be a problem. Lee only asked that if there was a special project that was generating more trash, that he would be able to contact us to schedule extra pickups. And I said that wouldn't be a problem, our office is open five days a week for him to call us, and then we'll make sure that we give that information to get an extra, trash pickup scheduled.
She forwarded it to us already.
Yep.
Yes. The community center there,
Sorry.
is that, being impacted here at all? I don't know what the schedule is there for the summer, but are they generating, trash that
Well,
needs to be dealt with, or
The person that I was told to talk
Folks
to when I spoke to Owen was Lee.
Lee?
So Lee
Okay.
must handle all the trash.
All of it?
And, I wasn't aware that,
I mean, cause
the
there aren't
whole-
any functions planned in there that would impact trash and.
right, and this is where Lee will communicate to us
Okay.
and make sure, like if there's a ham and bean supper.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there's
exactly.
something like that would
Okay.
require an
All
additional
right.
pickup.
These are some pictures, I don't know if you wanna touch base with them right now, just speaking of the school. This is trash pickup at the school on, just on Saturday,
The Saturday.
yeah.
Well, prior to this one with the 5
Recycling.
photos, we were picking up the trash 3 times a week. And what was happening is that they would leave Brad shorthanded during the week, because it was just for a lot of, out shifts, it's just
Mhm.
Brad and Griffin. And Brad wouldn't be able to handle any of the equipment, push any
Right, 'cause
buttons,
these are
and,
alone.
and we, and basically leave him alone. So, when we had our discussion, I asked, can you do this in 1 week? And they were willing to try, because they thought it would be a good idea to, shorten the time that one of the workers leaves the, building. And then, I also found out after the fact, or during this discussion, that they're working with 1 bin at the school and 1 bin at the library, and what's happening is when the bins get full, rather than dump it into another bin in the truck, they would take the bin back to the transfer station, empty it, and then return the, so there's 2
round
trips,
trip.
2 round trips for each pickup trash, so,
So they're just putting it in the truck, dropping off an empty, and then continuing on their route.
correct.
That's good.
So,
Makes
what,
sense,
yeah.
so what I suggested is, I asked them, I said, would it help if I got extra bins? So that you can have an empty bin, drop the empty bin, pick up the full bin, and then the next time come through and cycle. And they said that would be great, and they gave me suggested size to work with.
48 gallon, we'll say with.
Yeah, let me see here, so that's where we discussed efficiency, trying to work with 1 day, everybody was agreeable to it. The town offices, the fire department, the police department, highway, everyone was agreeable to work with that 1 schedule. Our cleaning lady cleans on Wednesday nights, and she goes through every single office, so everything's centrally located in the bathroom. So even if they came in at 7 on Thursday morning, they have a passcode to get into the office, they go right to the bathroom, and they're out in less than 10 minutes. So I think right for the time being, it's working extremely well. So that being said, I offered to look into other bins. I checked with the NNRA to purchase something through them. They don't have any, but they referred me to a used guy, and then that got into a complicated situation where I had to purchase 84 bins, and they would deliver them with an average of $20 per in Massachusetts. It just wasn't gonna happen. I was
It's not like
doing-
we're supplying
Let's
the
go to
whole
Walmart.
town.
yeah, well,
Go to Ace.
yeah, they're not the same, but anyways, I did order 2 bins, recycling bins at 79, 72 each,
Yeah.
delivered. And then, Griffin asked that I order 1 additional bin, trash bin, because the one that's left on the truck is too small. And when they have the things that are flyaway, they'd rather contain it into a
Yeah.
bin. So we ordered one bin for $199, so the total expense that I authorized for the transfer station is $359, and I think it's going to be well spent. We can
Oh, just
always
the
utilize
Time
that.
and gas alone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Double
Yeah.
trips.
yeah, and that would be
Which,
3
on
times a
truck
week.
that's done.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna attempt through the summer months to do it once a week, and then the school will contact the town office. Everyone knows that when they call, we need to get the message to the transfer station to schedule another pickup.
Okay.
So I think
Can
that's
I
gonna
ask
work
another
out.
question? If anybody brought it up as far as efficiencies. I know for a long time they've been taking the bottle caps off of bottles and containers and separating them out.
Yeah,
I know the poor guys, when they get a whole pile of stuff sitting in there, and they're sitting there, instead of taking the trash, you know, the recyclables and throwing them in the thing and getting them crushed, they're sitting there taking the time.
to take them apart.
Take 'em
I don't
apart.
know the reason
I
behind
think there
that.
is a
Well,
reason.
the reason I understand, cause I do it automatically at home to help
Right.
save these guys, the aggravation.
Yeah.
But originally, because the oil, you know, and the plastic itself was a little bit different than the bottle.
Yeah,
Right.
Two
it
different
was worth-
plastics,
two
is
different-
that-
Yeah,
Yeah, and it was
similar
worth,
materials.
and it was actually at one time was worth something,
yeah,
but I don't know with the price of recycling, is it even worth doing it anymore, just leaving them on the bottles and just crushing them as is? And saving them that kind of time of playing with these caps, I mean,
Yeah, unless there's some other reason for doing it.
because I mean, the time and labor just to take off, you know, every time they gotta touch almost every water bottle, every Coke bottle, every,
they do,
you know,
they do, yeah.
that's just, I
That's-
mean, that's time.
I think I can probably get that information from NNRA, they would know,
Yeah, they would,
Yeah.
yeah.
they would, I've
Mhm.
got a couple names.
I mean, all the guys there probably have a good
They
idea
might
of why,
know,
or
yeah.
they give you the background, then you
Right,
contact
and then
them.
contact them,
Yeah.
yeah,
Was, I mean, if it was making us big dollars and money coming in, I could understand it, but I
Yeah.
mean, if, you
Yeah.
know, you offset the money that it brings in with the labor and time and the hassle, I mean, they gotta work extra hours just to clean up the place, cause they're busy messing with that, I mean, they're losing money.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They
Right.
compact all those plastics, don't they?
Yes.
they do,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
So, I mean, it's just,
I know
Just a
weekly,
thought.
that's my biggest item going to the transfer station now is plastics.
that's cardboard.
I crush like these water bottles, they're very easy to
Oh, yeah.
collapse, so I
do too.
collapse those, but Coke bottles, not so much.
And milk jugs and these I do.
Yeah, milk jugs I squash, but the Coke bottles are a pain.
But it's just a thought I had, I mean, cause I mean, when you, talking about efficiencies and stuff, you know, every time I picture in my head, you know, Ed's sitting there, he's working like a one-arm paper hanger, and he's just unscrewing these things off, and, you know, doing like this, and it's like, he's handling just about every bottle, I mean, that's just a, you know, that's a lot of time, a lot of effort for what?
I
okay.
think we gotta go back to the wax box.
Yeah. Yeah, what's the return on investment, what is that?
I'll try to look into it. Okay, and then, I just wanted, to discuss the transfer station shifts. I was told that the employees are told they have to report 15 minutes before their shift begins. So I wanna confirm with the board because, I'm under the understanding if you're told to report to work 15 minutes, your shift starts 15 minutes before. And that they should be documenting that 15 minutes.
Should
So we're all on the same page
After
and
being told to do
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's reporting time, that's when your
it's,
shift starts.
and it's work and should be paid time, okay?
Yeah, it's
so
work
we're
time, yeah.
good with that,
I mean, I
okay.
can understand that, you know, like when you're opening up,
Mm.
because, you know, you're not just gonna take and drive up to the gate, unlock the gate and have everybody follow you in.
Yeah, you
Right.
need a little bit of time to get
Right,
things
Yeah.
opened
Yeah.
and turned on.
Even the machines, I'm
Warm
sure
up,
during the
yeah.
winter, they have,
warm,
need
right,
Right.
time to start and warm up and
And get
whatnot.
the oils flowing.
I mean, if they get there a half hour early and they sit back for 15-20 minutes drinking a coffee and then flicking on the switches,
Right,
that's one thing, but
Yeah.
if they're there to take and actually start,
yeah.
yeah, they're on paid time and that's
They're
their,
working, okay. Alright, and then, just wanna give the board a heads up that I received a call from Brad last Thursday around 5 o'clock, I happened to still be in the office. He informed me that the glass metal bin had lost a caster wheel, but they were able to save all the parts and the ball bearings. They
new
are
one or
also,
old one?
I don't know whether it's old or new, they've got caster wheels
Yeah.
underneath, and they put the glass in this bin up close to their workstation, so they don't have to continue to walk.
I'm thinking of a roll-off, I'm thinking of a roll-off.
This-
No, it's
this
one of
was
the,
this- It's one of the portable ones
Yeah.
that they,
portable ones,
they
yeah.
dump into
But they
the,
drive across the parking lot all the time.
correct, yeah, so
Yeah.
one of the wheels fell off.
Yeah.
He said that he was able to save all the parts and the ball bearings, he thought he had everything. They were able to prop it up with wood, and they set it up near the door, which meant that they had to walk a little further, but that allowed the
Forklift.
forklift to get in there and
Right.
dispose of the material if they needed to. So I was able to get a volunteer to, help me remove the wheel, inspect the damage, and found that the bolt had, that holds the wheel in place was damaged and required to be tapped. It's when you put a little, I don't know.
Rethread it.
Rethread it, that's it. And once that was fixed, we put the parts back together with the bearings, we greased it down.
You
And
say, wait,
we-
you there or someone else?
I was there with
Oh.
this person, so. And then, he informed me that there was a lot of play in it, but when we checked the other wheel, it was similar. But I just wanna let the board know that, this is something we may have to look at in the future, but it's handling, it's back.
That's probably from traveling
On the
back and
driveway.
forth, you know. across
Was the
town.
bin itself, those bins are some sort of hard plastic, aren't they, the gray plastic material?
No, this one is all metal.
It's
Metal
like a
around
metal,
this?
and
All
it's got
metal.
slanted in it, cause you can actually tip them.
That's right, and he's got a hydraulic thing set up so it plugs into the, what is that, skid steer?
Yeah.
And it tips it,
Oh,
into
okay, I
the-
know the one you mean now,
and then it
alright.
comes back,
Got
so.
it, yep.
So it's temporarily fixed, hope it's possible it'll last, I don't know, but we gotta all put that back together
Okay.
and, it's functioning right now. And
That's
that's
good.
what I have for the update of the physical, the last meeting, you asked me to look into the recycling income for the transfer station, because you had, word from Woody that there was going to be some major repairs. So I've given you, just the detailed account of the two accounts that the, we track for the revenue in the transfer station. The rest is just a 3-page sheet of our revenues to date, in case you wanna browse through it. The budget consists of two accounts, recycling income and the disposal fee. We usually budget just the one line, 30,000 covers both. It's under category 3401. So you'll see that the combined total year to date is 25,322. So I anticipate we'll exceed that budgeted number anyway.
What was it, 25?
Cover
It
page.
would be the
Oh,
15,170 from recycling income to date, and then the disposal fees is 10,151. So combined, we're at 25.
Disposal fees,
Which
is
ain't-
the people paying us. Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
Well, disposal fees is not recyclable, I mean, cause,
I understand, but that's part of this total budget
But
that
it's
we.
part of the income, right?
Right, and
I
it's.
understand it's part of the income, but I mean, it's, they're using a truck to take and bring recyclables or scrap to a location and get money back for it. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with us say you bring 5 tires and you're paying for those 5 tires.
Oh, right, no, that's, yeah,
Or
Okay.
a TV or an
Right.
AC unit or something
Okay.
like that.
that's money we're collecting at the gate
We're collecting that at the gate for
Yeah.
a service for
for
someone
a
else to come in and
service,
do.
right?
Okay,
It's not the recycle,
Yeah, cause we're probably paying some fee to get rid of that stuff, so
exactly.
it's probably like a pass through.
That's a
I would
pass,
hope.
yes.
okay.
Yeah, we
Alright.
hope it's at
Then,
least that.
just the
I mean,
recycling income alone, then we're looking at 15,170. And, if you look at the 3-page document, page
This is year to
2,
date then, right?
yes, year to date. And then if you look at the page 2 on the 3-page document, the prior year's revenue for just recycling was 32,121. So, we're gonna be close, but if we stay at this pace, we should come in at what we collected last year anyway.
Now, the question is, I know this is the individual itemized. But my question, I guess, is where is this revenue, how is this revenue being generated, is, is someone coming in picking it up for us?
This is everything that gets hauled away in the truck, this one $15,000
So we move it in
account.
the truck,
We move it out.
nobody's
into-
picking it up,
Nope.
we're loading that truck, having
Yep.
somebody load it
Yep,
and unload
Are
it.
we certain on that? Cause what are we,
there's one that says Jeff Crosby had a little bucket that he had leftover scrap from the highway garage, and
Yeah.
he brought it to wherever it is any resource, I guess it's the NNRA.
Snitching.
And he gave me the money, he said just put the revenue towards their budget for recycling income.
yeah, that's probably Snitzer though,
No, so all of this is, transfer station,
no, Snitzer is where they probably bring the stuff.
oh, I don't know when they bring it. We just get a check from the NNRA, that's where the check is.
We get transfer station fees.
It could be, yeah, I'm not sure if that's accurate or not.
that's the money coming in.
If
That's all
those,
revenue, right?
yeah, if those two that say transfer station fees are fees for the other line, I may have
Mhm.
posted it to the wrong
Yeah, they
account.
might be in the wrong thing.
Yeah, would that be $1,000 less?
Although it's one just. How can there be disposal fee for 7/31/2016, how did it come in?
Who are we
Yeah.
looking at,
Or am I reading that right?
on the back
Yeah.
page?
Yeah,
I
it's-
just entered some journals. Oh, yeah.
Today's 28th, let's say
um,
31st, was it default to the last day of the week?
No, actually, they're the receipts that are in the cash box. Now, this back page is tires. And so that's the floater. So the only one that's the recycling with material metal is the very first page. These are two different accounts.
Alright,
So I just did some journal entries for the July month
oh,
from the transfer station where they've been collecting 5, 6, and then 3. Couple grand there.
TVs,
Good
washing
luck.
machines,
Yeah.
tires. Okay, so that's somewhere around 14 or 15 grand, I think.
I mean,
Yeah, what?
I'd like to know, what, you know, like you got one down here, starting the most recent for us, cause we're the closest.
Yeah.
Second one from the bottom, it is $1,800, Northeast recovery there.
I have
What
the
the
copies
hell?
of the checks, do you want me to grab them real quick?
Well, I guess, is there any itemized that goes with the checks, as in tells you
Mhm.
what it was for?
Yep, I just don't, it's not shown on
Well,
the
you get,
entry.
if you just took those high dollar ones, I think they're over $1,000.
I mean, what they put in the back of that truck, it's over $1,000.
Well, right here, his one's almost 3.
Right. Cause I know the prices of scrap are pretty low.
Right.
I've brought.
In fact, in April, there's 2. There's one for 1,100, then one for 2,900 in April, another one in April for 171.
Cause I brought some stuff to the snitches myself not that long ago, and I tell you, I mean, I walked out of there with like $80, and I had a truck, I had like 2 tons of stuff in the back of my truck.
Yeah, and these are kinda close together too, the dates here. You went from the 22nd of June to the 15th of July to the 21st of July. I mean, it's kind of an odd, plus maybe that's why that's so much money. Because of a period of time, maybe that's what he's doing, I don't know.
Cause we also have we also have a scrap steel bin there that's,
I know.
roll off.
Yeah,
I mean, is that getting hauled away, and that's is that part of that?
that's not part of this, though, but I don't
Well, it
know.
should be.
No, yeah, no, but is it, or is this just what they're hauling in that pickup truck?
I think this is the whole income, I guess the question is,
Yeah,
what is it, what's attributable to that pickup truck? And
Right,
is-
what part of this is the truck?
Right.
Yep, got it. Yeah, cause then what I'm almost thinking is the big numbers would
Mhm.
probably the bin, little numbers could be the truck,
Right.
maybe. I mean, I'm guessing.
Mhm.
And that would maybe be why in July, for example, you've got, or April even,
Mhm.
you have a big, you got 2 big ones showing here for April, which is kinda on the same day,
Weird, yeah.
which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So just talk myself out of that.
Alright,
But no,
July.
with a discussion though.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute, those aren't the same day. It's
No, they're
on
posted the
wrong
same day.
column, they're posted the same day, they're not the same day, but they're within 15 days of each other.
That would be when the, let's see here,
Posting period, I see.
I make copies of the checks.
Now, Lean, do you know if, these numbers,
Yeah,
is,
so like that, we're talking,
Yeah.
I think that's the,
right, are these numbers just what's hauled in the pickup truck, or is this, so what about the big bin? Where is that number?
This is what is part of the hauls. I think that's, which one is that? Is that a June or a July?
What's the date?
June check?
This is,
6/16 is the day of the check.
oh yeah,
June,
6/16.
yeah, and that's when it would have been posted in the journal entry.
No, that's the day of the check, that's not when, probably the 22nd, I'm guessing, right, 14? Yeah, that's the 22nd one, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the bottom of the checks, I'll use the date that they.
So how do you know, or do you know, what the big bin being separated from what's in the little truck? That's kinda what I'm wondering, we're not looking at total trash, total metal collection, are we?
I don't know, I don't have that answer,
This one check for a number of different things.
Yeah, it is.
Because-
Well, it looks like somebody took the time to break it out.
because then we have this one here, which is 1800, which is, might be when they deposited, but you can see it's 1800, and this is what's
Yeah.
there. But I don't know what
But
the
that's a lot of
hall,
stuff.
I don't know what the hall stuff,
Yeah.
I don't understand and know that.
Hauling fees. Aluminum, low ferrous, that's aluminum.
Yeah, holy
Old
that's it.
sheet.
And that's what,
Radiators unclean.
so is that like the whole open top
Yeah,
container
that's
with
what we're
metal?
wondering, cause it seems like an awful lot,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, for a pickup truck, I
Yeah.
think so, unless you're hauling gold,
um,
precious metals.
okay, I don't.
So that's what I'm wondering, what
Fibers
is,
mixed bales. Is that 21?
That would be the aluminum cans and the,
yeah, I think
there's
this is,
the, what's the other
and that
type
could
of
be what those
can?
hauling fees are for, Brian.
Yeah. Cause they also load a lot of this stuff into a tractor trailer and it gets picked
Yeah,
up
they
and
do,
hauled.
yeah.
Right, that's what they bale, the aluminum
Mm.
cans, and then isn't there a metal can or,
Yeah.
what's the other
Tin.
can, the tin?
Tin.
Tin,
And
yeah.
those get crushed in the baler, and those get
Mm.
banded, and those get
Yeah.
hauled.
Well, I don't think you can tell by looking at this what's been done with the truck.
No, I
Just
don't, I
my
agree,
guess, I think this is everything.
I think
Scrap
you're right.
copper
Yeah.
insulated,
yeah,
it's 211 pounds.
Oh, here's a big one, Christmas lights, this must have been right after the holidays.
Scrap miscellaneous
Even has
ballast.
its own category, I love it.
Scrap metal.
So we get those checks regularly, but I think you might be right, it might be the combination,
Yeah,
the
'cause it
open
seems like
top,
it seems
the,
like an awful lot of stuff, that's what I mean.
this one's $912.
Is this price per ton or is this?
And then there's a hauling fee here, which is another thing.
Unit
we should
price
look at.
and quantity.
Oh yeah, but what's the unit price, is it per pound, per ton?
It does.
Because like fibers mixed bale, I mean, I can see 21 tons.
May, we had 2 deliveries or drops, I don't know. This
Yeah,
spot,
they
this,
give you
I
unit
bet you,
price of what's a unit.
I bet you, if I'm looking at
Cause
this.
I know we have a tractor trailer box back up there and they load that stuff with all the bale stuff.
Yeah,
Is it possible that this is the truck because of what's described here, and then this, which is just the week before, is the tractor trailer?
This
You
was
guys know metal better than I do. There's wiring and other stuff
Yeah.
in there, I don't know.
scrap aluminum cast clean, yeah.
it'd be nice if we knew what they were hauling, you know?
Scrap electric motors, 170. I assume it was pounds. Yeah, we knew what the item numbers meant too.
Yeah, cause apparently I see that they do repeat.
Mm.
Did you ask Northeast if they could tell us, if they could give us a breakdown of what these different codes mean?
Actually, you know, if I can get a copy, I'll call them and save you a trouble, cause I
Twist
mean,
me, twist me along, I'll give you 2 copies, 3 copies, which one do you
well,
want?
only because I.
You want a small one and a big one, just to
Yeah.
compare
Yeah.
the differences?
Only because that way, I mean, I'm familiar with scrapping
Yeah.
and stuff like that, so probably a little bit, hopefully it makes sense more.
Didn't make any sense to me.
We've done a little bit of it, so. My biggest question is quantities, are they tons, are they pounds, what, you know?
Yeah,
that kind
cause
of
it doesn't give you, it says a unit, but it doesn't tell
Right.
what the unit is.
It's
Seems to me like that ought to be on
HMS
there.
prepared, that's gonna be your, number 1 steel, which your heavy stuff like your rotors and brake drums and stuff like that, your scrap aluminum.
So where does all this get sorted at Northeast, when they take the bin over there to dump it, or leave it, or whatever they do with it?
Right,
Then they got people who pick through it and separate it all out. Wow.
maybe, or it's just.
Well, I don't know how else they would do this,
Right.
how else would you categorize chrome wheels?
I just know that,
Dallas.
Just from my experience and having to run down there back and forth, I have a car. I was ready to put those totes in my car, and I would have had to take one at a time. So, the convenience of a truck to get things that you need and at the last minute, transport, do whatever it is you need, I think it's gonna put a real stress on the highway garage if we take away the transfer station vehicle, because there is use for it.
Well, I'm sure there is the use for it,
Yeah.
but the question is the return on investment worth the,
And maybe we don't need such a big vehicle, maybe with a smaller, compact type.
that's a
pickup.
four-wheel drive pickup.
Yeah, 'cause that's a big truck,
Yep,
the one we have,
yeah,
maybe bigger than what we need.
but we own it.
Yeah,
To put the money into the, repairs, is it worth keeping it so that it lasts another year, 2 years? Or do we go the other route and look at what in his capital reserve and try to invest in a smaller compact new vehicle that will require no maintenance? I guess that's the other piece I should have printed off tonight, is how much we've spent on the maintenance in the last,
I go back like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Understand the unit,
Hmm?
I can't
yeah,
understand.
3 years of
Yeah.
history on that lane would be great.
The unit price.
If it-
Yeah,
you know, but is it-
expenses.
You know, is
Yeah.
that per
Yeah, anything
Right,
we've spent
that's
to
what I'm saying.
maintain the vehicle.
I don't know.
So how many miles, I forget how many miles we said was on that thing.
It's an estimate right now.
Yeah, I know what to guess them now, but,
These are copies, these
Yeah.
are, these one to per.
yep, those are yours, so we don't lose them.
Alright, so I'll get 3 years of expenses for the vehicle.
Cause I remember there at one time when, Travis and Ted and I were signing checks, I mean, it's like every other week we're signing a couple $100s for that truck,
Mhm.
money wise, between body work and parts and pieces, tires, you name it, it was an expensive endeavor.
Alright, unfortunately, unless you want me to run and get the expenses,
No,
I
I
can.
don't need it now.
Well, we're still talking.
Yeah,
Okay, there's still time, I think.
yeah, we got a little bit of time, September.
Mhm.
So that's the update.
Again, if we had a, vehicle maintenance
Yeah,
or a, acquisition plan and,
well, if we could register that vehicle as agricultural,
yeah,
that'd be no problem.
it'd be tough.
I know that Woody's also working on, detailing what he's hauled with the truck,
Mhm.
so it might be a good,
Yeah, we've asked them.
Comparison. but at the same time, to remember that if you can get it inspected, and I'm gonna use a high number of $2,000,
Mhm.
so you can run it for a year, is less than the depreciation if you were gonna invest
Mhm.
in getting something else. If you could run it for another year, you run it for another year, and at least you have that vehicle available
Mhm.
to do those things.
Yeah, because on the other hand too, a good example today, Griffin offered to do the run for the trash, because they only have 2 people, they're closed, but you still can't work alone and use any of the, equipment. So he's leaving for vacation, he was willing to come in and do the trash run pickup, because we scheduled it for Thursdays. And because we didn't have that swap out bin, he told me he would have to make 1 trip back to the school, but he would do it in his own truck. And I don't think it's fair that I ask
No.
the part-timers who have trucks
Right.
and come by here and are willing to take, things back and forth, and yet we have, they're not abusing the vehicle, they're using the vehicle for what it's
Mhm.
needed, and we're trying to find more efficient ways so that we're not wasting time going
Yeah.
back and forth, putting
No, and I
extra
think what
miles
you
in.
put in place right now is pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see how
Yeah.
that goes for.
Well, some change when the
But
school
knowing
year
the
starts.
numbers, without knowing the numbers,
Mhm.
Yeah,
we can't know
Right.
if we can justify it or not.
yeah.
The other thing, it does perform other functions, so you have to weigh everything in
Oh,
Right,
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
see what it
Absolutely.
comes out to, but
Yeah, you
Yeah.
need the big picture.
again, I'd like to
Mhm.
know what the numbers are with the scrap,
yeah,
Mhm.
and just to know that is it feasible.
Mhm.
yeah,
Absolutely.
okay,
But on the other hand, on that scrap, you depend on what it's taking out of that list.
Right.
How much time and effort is going into the effort to put that scrap together to get that money when they could be doing other things at the transfer station that needs to be done. I mean, that's all gotta be factored in there and weighed to truly get a real number.
Just, yeah, well, I agree with you, but I know that most of that scrap that comes off a vehicle is done over by the dumpster where
Right.
Brad's handling it.
Yeah,
And like I say,
Right.
in most cases,
Mhm.
most people are, he's grabbing that stuff and they're emptying their truck.
Yeah.
There may be some cases where
Mhm.
it's the exact opposite, where he has to handle everything, you know, but.
Mhm.
and that would explain the larger checks for 1808 coming from the open top container.
Yeah, that would make more sense to me.
Yeah.
If you're hauling $1,800 worth of stuff in a pickup, you get
So-
something special.
On
Yes.
a related note, I sent you guys a number of emails on regarding the boatload of state contracts that we might be able to, we can pick
But
up.
I have not looked through those.
I didn't think you guys would have had a chance, I mean, I looked at some of them, it looks like there's some possibilities here regarding trash and single stream for us.
Oh,
Speaking of, on that note, I did get a call from T&J Waste Management. I'm just trying to think ahead. If we end up having to go to multiple routes and it's still, fairly reasonable for them to pick up the trash at the school versus the town, or even doing, I've asked her for a price for the town offices and one separately for the school, whereas the school might need multiple pickups and the town would require one.
during the school year, I know that when Ted and I met with them,
Yeah,
I mean, they used to having pretty much Woody at beck and call. And they were concerned, of course, about having dumpsters on site down there, it's my understanding they had them in the past. But they didn't seem very excited about going back to doing that,
yeah,
cause they're concerned about, animals being attracted and, things like that.
yeah,
I don't know if those are, their concerns, but, I think they have a proper dumpster out there and, ways to secure it, and they secure them for bears. So I'm sure you can secure one for a raccoon if that's the concern, but I think, if it's done properly, with the right sized dumpsters, with the right kind of pickup, it would work.
yeah, yeah,
But they weren't, the meeting that we had back last, whenever it was now, yeah, that was a real issue with the
Yeah.
school.
so in the meantime, without the dumpster setup, I wanted to check with
Yep.
all the different
Absolutely.
options, especially if
Yeah.
we can't get the truck inspected in time.
So we're gonna get you a quote?
T&J is gonna give me a quote.
Okay, so they haven't got you a quote?
No, not yet, she
Right.
finally got back to me.
In that quote, will they, do you know if they'll size up what kind of, dumpster they're gonna put there?
No, it's not a
So-
dumpster, it's a trash pickup, just
Was
like
it just-
Like bags?
So like what Woody
Yeah,
does,
just like Woody does, but they do it curbside, they'll
Yep.
include that in their curbside
Oh.
pickup.
they'll drive down there, they'll
And-
back up, they'll throw the bags in and take off.
Yeah, I would just suggest asking the school what the normal, output is in the summertime
Yeah,
per day.
they've got, they do, this
And I know
janitor
they
is
got, they got a
new,
bucket down there of some sort
Yeah.
that they used to put it in.
the janitor is new, and again, he said he's willing to work with our schedule,
Good.
so we're gonna go this route for the summer,
Yeah,
and then look at it a little bit
when you say he's
closer.
new, has he been there through the school year?
I think this
Was
is
he
his
there? So
first
he would
year,
have-
It would-
He would have an idea what last year would look like?
he might,
I
I
think he
can
went
ask
towards
him,
the end of last year,
Did he?
Yeah.
because they lost their janitors.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I would ask.
As part of that quote from T&J, I mean, I think would ask them, is there any requirements on our end that they're gonna need from us, as far as, how it's bagged, or what, need segregation or anything of
Yeah,
that nature,
any
so.
sorting that we need to do.
So that we know right up front, so it's not one of those things like, oh yeah, sure, we sign on to it, and then they give us this, huge list of stuff, well, you gotta do this, this, and this, if you don't, it's extra
Okay.
money, and we.
Well, and I know that the school also had I don't know the details, but I know that they were working with the kids on a recycling, program down there where they were doing some sorting, I think internally at the CAF.
mhm,
So,
How to fix that?
single stream.
Oh, pay as you go.
Pay as you go.
Yeah, it's still have to pay,
Yeah,
if it's recyclables, you're not paying for it, if it's regular trash, you have to pay for it.
yeah, exactly, but, yeah, so I don't know what, that's why I think the conversation with the school might be.
those state contracts where is there trash hauling in that?
You put it, you size up the dumpster you need, and then, whether you want it once, twice, and you could even have a pickup every day, but it's
Okay.
gonna cost you.
Okay,
I think the one we looked at last time that they had was with zero waste, if I remember
Yeah, I
correctly.
think it was like $13 a week for
Yeah,
a
what, it
pickup
didn't
for
seem like
like
it
a
was much
4 yard.
money. It seemed to me like it was
for
pretty
how many
affordable.
yards?
I think it was like a 4 yard.
4 yard dumpster.
4 yard dumpster can
And-
probably hold a week's worth of trash out of the school.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, unless they get, I mean,
I'll
if,
have to look at those,
and there was also, you know, extra pickups available if need be. I think it was like on on-call basis.
mhm,
So if something happened, like you had a, you know, a super heavy-duty week for some
He had a
reason.
function going,
Had a
cause there are
event.
times of
Yeah.
the year where the
yeah,
school
Yeah.
uses, you know, the auditorium down there for functions, so.
Yeah.
Or like basketball in
Yeah.
the winter.
well, they have the ham and bean supper, I
Yeah.
don't know how many other times they have big functions like that, that
Right.
generate more
Yeah.
trash.
I think I always ask the people to do the ham and bean supper, you know, just throw it in the back of the truck and take it to the dumpster next, go to the dump next day.
Right.
If push came to shove.
Yeah, okay, so
But,
I'll look at those bids for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I mean, if you pick out a few and just let us know which ones you're looking at, so we could all, you know,
Yeah,
kinda
I'll get
gravitate. I was gonna do the
copies to
same
you.
thing.
Okay,
Well, I mean, you guys all have electronic copies.
Yep, we do.
okay,
No sense killing a tree until we're ready to really start looking at it. Excuse me. But if I remember correctly, I had this ones for scrap tires, for waste oil, bulbs, ballast, and all that kind of stuff, almost anything that we do. Actually, I think I signed a couple that has ammunition, it might be interesting for, the police. You know, I don't know how they buy their ammunition and stuff like that, but they might be able to buy it cheaper off of one of these contracts.
okay.
So if we, you know, so I grabbed some stuff that I saw that kind of applies to the town, and what we do. I'm sure there's more there, I just didn't. I did it during my lunch break.
Did you get one of those?
Yes.
Not me.
I take it once in a while. Usually I'm working, you know, I'm sitting there eating and working on my computer, but this time I worked on my computer by pulling up state contracts and downloading them onto my thumb drive.
Excellent.
Anyway, anything else for on the town transfer station?
Yeah, what about the, job descriptions?
That's next.
Cause I did look at those, I have a couple of,
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I didn't bring my
questions.
copies, do you have your copies?
I do.
Did you bring them? Okay. I'm gonna go grab mine, unless you wanna make copies of your recommendations.
I didn't scratch them up, but if you just wanna make copies, just don't know what to put, or again,
I
one
don't
or.
want- Well, I didn't wanna do it electronically, cause I got a whole bunch of stuff here.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Bob, did you bring your copy?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I went home to get
I'm
it.
the only one that's, I'm the only one that's not
That's why
ready.
Bob was here twice. It's up to 9:30, isn't it? First thought, I'm looking at it, it's not really 9:30.
That's 8:25. That's a little fast.
Must be past Donna's bedtime, I'm gonna fall asleep.
8 o'clock's my bedtime.
You can back up and go home if you want.
Well, I
mean,
can't.
If I do anything, you know, earth shattering. So you're ready for a marathon, so you're ready for 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock tonight?
I might. Sometimes it has the opposite effect. You stay up beyond your bedtime, then you can't get to sleep.
Yep.
Shall see.
Give me a recliner, I'll be asleep in about 10 seconds.
Alright, let's see, let's start.
Thank you,
I'm just
ma'am.
gonna give her a copy.
Yep.
When did you wanna start?
Go ahead, Brian.
We're doing the,
You can pick through the list and we can all chime in.
well, I know on the beginning,
Which one are you looking at?
the transfer station manager.
Okay.
The other one already exists.
Yeah, that was just amended and adopted last
Right,
June.
I got a couple things on that, but I mean, that's
Yeah.
just,
Okay,
but, the top here, I mean, I think we ought to have the format the same as we have the other ones that we've already adopted.
okay, so we'll go that over.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
you know, so they're all uniform.
Yeah,
Job description side, I might, I was thinking about some wording on that, I might come back to that eventually, not tonight, but, on the accountability.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is reports to town administrator with ancillary reporting to board of selectmen as necessary. Because really, you're the supervisor, they shouldn't be reporting to us and you, they should be reporting to you, and then you're the conduit to us.
Okay,
But that ancillary reporting would be like for, budgets, or, or if you're not there, then you can come to us at a meeting, but
okay,
I think any department head would have that type of reporting. So that way it keeps the chain of command consistent.
okay.
It spells it out pretty clearly.
Yeah. I don't know why specific duties and responsibilities was, crossed out, but,
I didn't know,
I-
example of essential duties, or you like this,
I would say just duties and responsibilities, because,
Yeah, I'd use the same heading you have here on the managers.
exactly, duties and responsibilities, cause, examples, I mean, you could be there, you could have a zillion examples, cause
Okay.
everything may be a little bit different. And that's one of my, I guess, pet peeves with when it comes to a job description, you got, and it's not your fault, I understand that, but we got 25 different responsibilities.
yeah. and
We need
this-
to narrow that down to, I wouldn't say no more than, 10 to 12 at the most. Because there's a lot of stuff that's kinda like duplicative, like, for example, 4 and 5. Collect and record revenues from the sale of recyclables, you could take and blend 5 right in there, and user fees,
Okay,
you wipe one out. That kinda stuff. You combine 6 and 7, meeting with the board of selectmen to keep them apprised of transfer station issues, and at the same time, discuss issues while operation, budget, and personnel. I mean, that could all be combined into like one responsibility,
okay,
that kind of stuff, so it's, thing. Number 13 could be added to number 3. 3 is prepares operating budget, maintains regular budgetary purposes.
Yeah.
13 is prepare the annual report on the transfer station, so it's all kind of
some
the
of
same, reporting, any type
Yeah.
of reporting, preparing budgets or any type of other documents, I mean, that could all be one job description.
Okay,
Number 18, you already have it under the certifications, I think, right? Page 4. Yeah, so level 3 solid waste facility advanced operation certification with New Hampshire DES service required. So we don't even need number 18, it says maintain it, it's already in the job description as a requirement.
okay,
That's just, then again, like 20 through 25, they're all little gooey stuff that I think kinda all fit in together with, something else somewhere, or, is in the general description, cause it,
okay, so you want me to just go ahead and merge a few and then run them,
Yeah.
send them off to you electronically?
Right. I mean, we have one in the state, it's, at the bottom, there's the last one on the job description is to do, any other, duties or responsibilities that are, incumbent upon this position or something
Yeah.
reasonably, I'll get the wording for you.
Yeah,
But it basically, it's like a catch-all, so
yeah,
if it's not specifically spelled on the job description, if it's related to the job, it's still part of your job description, you can't say, well, it's not on my job description, I'm not gonna do it,
okay,
like a new report the DES requires, it's not on the job description, it's still part of your job.
As required.
so
Right.
basically not limiting you to just what's listed here.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
As required.
But it's gonna be related to the job, I mean,
Right.
obviously, it says, you're gonna take and plow snow in the winter time on Route 13, that's not part of the transfer,
As duties,
exactly.
applied at the transfer station.
So those are just my,
Okay, the, couple of things I had, go ahead.
I'm not.
Just so you
Were
know
you
that
done?
No,
the
Oh, okay.
template did
Not
come
sure.
from
Yep.
the local
I understand.
government, so I didn't wanna take out too much.
I understand, that's
Okay.
why, I'm not, this isn't personal, I mean,
Yep.
just,
Yep, no, that's fine,
page 3,
yep,
it could be me, but almost every job description I've seen in my lifetime, this physical activity requirements, it seems to be too specific. I think we might wanna just limit, I was gonna try to come up with some better, different wording, because if you, my opinion, if you take and you handcuff yourself with this, because, say something happens, like we have workers' comp issues,
yep,
and it says, lifting over 50 pounds occasionally with assistance. Well, so if they do it regularly instead of occasionally, and they end up hurting themselves even with the assistance. Well, the job description said only occasionally, it's, it, to me, could be a place where, we could end up in trouble. Because we don't know for sure if it's gonna be occasionally or regularly, I mean, we hope it is, but there's no guarantee of it.
Or
Okay,
would you
so-
suggest like an as needed or as
Well,
required?
I wouldn't,
or-
there'll be lifting, what I mean,
Or just leave
you
it
do
as
like,
lifting without.
Regularly?
You do like
Right.
UPS and
Right.
FedEx, they
Yeah.
say you may be required.
Well, maybe
Maybe,
required,
okay.
yeah.
well, that's
I'll
exactly
check.
right, yep.
You got it, excellent, yep,
Yeah.
maybe required.
I mean, cause
Okay.
you start pulling all these specifics out and saying this, and this, they can hold you to it, but if something goes wrong, they're gonna say, well, hey, this isn't right, you guys, sold them a bill of goods,
Okay.
And maybe required to
Okay,
perform the following or something like that.
yeah, and then just list the number, without
Yeah.
the
Without the-
frequency
yeah, without
occasionally,
that,
okay,
exactly.
I like that,
Yeah, me too. Good
So,
one.
okay,
on page 4, on the occupational exposures,
yeah,
I don't know if we should be listing that per se, because,
What if you miss something?
yeah, what exactly, what's something, or what, I mean,
Well, what I noticed on that, we have two different ones.
yeah,
We have one for the manager that's pretty lengthy,
yeah,
and one for the attendant that's very short.
exactly,
Okay.
I know
And
so
I'm
too.
thinking, why is the manager more exposed to things than the attendant?
okay,
You
You
should
know,
be saying,
aren't they the same? Yeah, I'm thinking they ought to be the same,
okay,
if we're gonna have a list at all, or however we decide we wanna
Okay.
categorize that.
but I think the exposure stuff, instead of putting in the job description, cause we could put in like a blurb in here that there are exposures, but that should be addressed in our safety program,
okay.
in my opinion.
You can actually reference a safety program
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
there,
Yep,
just
Yeah.
saying